During the recession in 2008, 2009, a ton of people went back to grad school because unemployment was so high. It seemed like, hey, that's the thing to do. I'll use this time to go to grad school. And with everything going on right now, I think a lot of people are debating again, is this the right time to go to grad school? So today, let's talk about it. Should you go to grad school? And even if there wasn't a recession or high unemployment, should you go to grad school? Let's discuss. If we haven't met, my name is Cassandra and I help motivated professionals build their careers and businesses through practical tips to gain career confidence. And this question, should I go to grad school? I get a ton. I also get, I'm just going to grad school. In case you didn't know, I also work at a university in California as a career coach, and students come in my office all the time and say, oh, well, my next step is grad school. And I love to say, why? The answer is not normally a good reason to go to grad school. So let's talk about if you should go. Here's what I want you to do. You need to answer these questions. Do you know exactly what you want to do for a career? If the answer is no, we are not going to grad school, okay? Grad school is not a place for exploration. In college, you take classes in your major, but you also get to take classes in, other areas to just enrich yourself, or you have some freedom to take electives, to try things out just because you liked them. And a lot of times we discover in those classes, hey, I really like this other thing. I'm going to incorporate that into my work or into my life in some way. Grad school is not a place for exploration. Grad school, you learn about one topic all day, all night, for 2 years, okay? When I was in grad school, I knew I was going for student affairs, and a semester in, they asked us, what's been the most surprising? And my response was, I knew I'd be learning only about student affairs, but I also just didn't realize how I'd only be learning about student affairs. Like, you are only learning one topic and going deep because you're going to become a master, right? So if you are not sure that this career path is the exact one for you, please do not go to grad school to explore. We can explore in a billion other ways. I actually think this is part of the reason why so many people who went to grad school in 2008 to 2011 during the recession are still struggling to find jobs. CNN did an article about 2 years ago talking about how those who went to grad school in that first recession are still underemployed, struggling to find jobs, etc. I have a friend who went and got her MBA and her law degree, and she totally regrets it. Fun fact, if you think law is something that's easy to get into now, it's not, because the market is oversaturated with a bunch of people who went thinking this will guarantee a job at the end, but now there's too many people trying to be lawyers. Just know it does not guarantee anything at the end of it, and if you're doing it as a chance of like, well, I'll explore something and use this time right now, not the place to explore. So maybe you answered, yes, Cassandra, I do know exactly what I want to do. Great. My next question for you, does it require a graduate degree? If it does not, we do not need to go to grad school, okay? If you are not sure if it requires a graduate level degree, please go check that out first. I tell everyone I know, the only reason I have a graduate degree is because I wanted to work in a university career center. And while this has changed slightly, at the time, the only way to get hired in those jobs was to have a master's degree. Fun fact, pretty much everyone you meet on a campus that works in student affairs on a college campus, they all have a master's degree because it's required to even get into the field. 90% of the time. There are always exceptions to the rule, but overall, I knew to get hired, getting that degree was going to be my best bet. So I went back. But if your answer to, yes, I know exactly what I want to do, does it need a degree, is I don't know, let's figure it out first. And if you can say no, then please don't get the degree. If it doesn't get you a higher title, a higher pay salary, like a bump in your entry-level position, it's not worth going. And please research this. What I have found is everybody knows someone who's a teacher, that getting their master's got them a better job and more pay when they got into the field because of their master's, right? Because in teaching, it does that. But in PR, it does not. Or my favorite example, my film students. Those of you who want to be filmmakers. If you go and get a degree in film as an undergrad, right? You get a bachelor's in it. When you get out of school, your first job is going to be a PA or an assistant. All right? That's it. Now, if you decide instead, hey, I'm going to go to grad school for 2 years. You know what happens at the end of those 2 years of grad school, master's level film degree? You still are a PA or an assistant. Nothing changes, except now you are $100,000 to $200,000 more in debt on that low PA salary. So please think it through. Is it necessary? Now, maybe your answer is, well, it's not necessary in my career right now, but down the road, it does help you level up. Like I've seen that all the C-suite people in my corporation or in my kind of industry area, they all have master's degrees. Great. Go get some experience. And then when we hit that ceiling that says, hey, you can't get any higher until you get your MBA or some other master's degree, then go get the degree and let the corporation pay for it. All right? If you wait it out, you can figure out, yes, this is definitely something I want to do. Now I know exactly what I want to focus on in my master's, because fun fact, even though it's specialized, you can niche down even more. So I know exactly what I want to do in my master's degree. And hey, the company said they'll pay for it, or they'll do 50% or something like that. Like, wait and figure it out if you actually need it, and do it at the time when it's actually needed. And lastly, even if the answer is yes, a master's degree would be very helpful in my profession, I have one more question for you. Do you already have experience? If you don't, go get experience first. Go do a couple of years entry level in whatever your industry is, and then apply to grad school. Then go get that advanced degree, because grad school is all about learning theory to practice to theory, right? If you don't have the practice part, you're reading theories and going, okay, I think that makes sense how that would work in the world. But if you've actually had the experience, when you learn the theories, you go, oh yeah, I saw that play out. And it's a much more enriched experience. And I have a friend who dropped out of an MBA that he went into straight from undergrad that he says, like, I just felt so behind because the people in my program had all these great stories of how they'd seen this play out and they could really connect the dots, and I couldn't. Now, don't get me wrong, he's still doing quite well in this world because his MBA didn't matter. Just know, having some experience first is going to make that grad school experience that much stronger. Can you tell I'm not a huge fan of getting an advanced degree? At least not immediately. Now, I know there are some of you who are going to be like, no, Cassandra, for what I want to do, it's totally important. I'm going to be a nurse, a doctor, sometimes certain things in computer science. Great. I'm not talking to you. Those are places where you know exactly, hey, to even get hired, right? You answer that first question. Do I need this to get hired? Your answer is yes. Cool. Stop there. You're good to go. Go apply for that degree, for that grad school program, and get that degree. But for the rest of you, please also don't let that myth of, well, a master's is the new bachelor's, keep you in school and in debt longer than you need to be. That is a myth. A master's is not the new bachelor's. But don't take my word for it. My favorite thing to tell everyone when they ask this question is, I want you to go ask people in your industry. This is my opinion, but if you are PR, if you are graphic design, if you are in film, I want you to go do informational interviews with people in your industry. You need to learn about what they do, how they got started, and I want you to ask them, did you go to grad school, and was it beneficial? Because some people made the mistake and went to grad school and now go, no, I shouldn't have done it. So ask others. If you need to know what an informational interview is, or you're like, great, how do I start that process? I have a whole playlist for you. I will put it right here, and more videos for you here. That is it for today. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.